momento, prego, la chiamano per una collettiva. Bleiben Sie bitte am Apparat, Sie werden für ein Konferenzgespräch verlangt. Un instant, s'il vous plaît, on vous demande pour une conversation conférence.
Pronto? Ciao Poppy! Adesso vi passo Chiara!
We're going on a tour around the world. It'll take a bit of time because the world's quite big.
È una conferenza telefonica.
It's a conference call where I give a strong spiritual thought that we can live together. When we call the zones and they answer, hello, how are you? So it's the life of a family. It's wonderful.
Meraviglia. Avevo per scopo di
Its aim is to help us go on a holy journey, a journey towards holiness.
At last, the moment has arrived. Can you believe it, Marco? We're live on air. It's really emotional. We were looking at photos from the previous link-up. And now we're all together here, ready to begin. The amazing thing is that we're ready to relive our trip to Brazil at the Genfest. I'm really getting very emotional here. João, Benedetta, how's the atmosphere over the other side of the hall?
It's sensational. I want to remind you, though, that there wasn't just one Genfest, but 44 Genfests all over the world. And this link-up today is also a way of thanking all of you for the concrete help that's allowed so many young people to participate in these events.
So greetings to everybody here in the hall. There are more than 300 here from all over Italy. I can see Elisabetta, with whom I drank a very good caipirini in Copacabana, as well as Vincenzo, with whom I shared part of the Genfest.
And there are so many who are living this moment with us through YouTube all over the world. And everybody's from different time zones. There's Sabrina from Los Angeles, where it's 9 in the morning. Yasin from Fortaleza, it's 1 o'clock. Mark in Kenya, where it's 7 at night. And Yopi in Korea, because I've discovered that I thought she was going to be there, but the others in Korea are there, and it's 1 o'clock in the morning. So write and tell us where you're following from and how many of you there are through WhatsApp at the number you can see on the screen. You can also send us a photo. We're really eager to imagine you here with us.
During this link-up, you'll have a chance to get to know us a little bit more. I'll introduce myself. I'm João, I'm Brazilian. I've been living in Bari in the south of Italy for the past 2 years, and I love singing.
I'm Benedetta. I live in Nettuno near Rome, and at the weekend, I'm a referee in Taekwondo, a Korean martial art.
I'm Marco. I walked here because I live 5 minutes away, and I love salsa dancing and bachata.
I'm Matilde. I'm from Parma, a city in northern Italy. And as a hobby, I make and design bags. But now that you know a little more about us, we're ready now. Let's officially start this link-up. And we'll start with the experience of Margaret Karam and Jesus Moran, President and Co-President of the Focolare movement.
As you know, they spent a month in Brazil to get to know the Focolare communities there and to participate in the Genfest. We interviewed them on their return.
Questo viaggio è stato bellissimo e anche importantissimo.
This trip was amazing and very important too, not only for Brazil, but I feel that it has marked a milestone for the whole movement in the world. We traveled from north to south. What struck me the most was discovering that the charism of unity is much, much greater than what we can understand and imagine. I would summarize this trip in 3 words. The first is care. This was the word that accompanied us in all the stages. Then it was also the key word for the Genfest held both in Brazil and throughout the world. We saw this especially in Amazonia, where there are 2 focolares, which collaborate with the local church and with civil society, specifically to take care of the people, of the many sufferings that exist in Amazonia, as we know, and healing the wounds. We truly saw them in action. This made us think even more of how care for people as well as for creation is important and is the only thing that can save humanity. We'll listen to Monsignor Bernardo Balman, the Bishop of Óbidos, who will tell us more.
Então, assim, nós temos uma vasta cultura de várias culturas.
We could say that we have a vast culture of different cultures at the same time. And all of this has formed our culture, which is just for Amazonia. It's mainly a culture that comes from the indigenous culture. On the other hand, we have a lot of riches here, natural riches, but also we have social situations that are huge challenges, like poverty itself, or the lack of respect for human rights, or even the environment with the destruction of the forest.
Nós temos muita destruição da floresta.
All of this means that today we need to think again about how to take care of ourselves. Regarding this, we can learn especially from the indigenous peoples on how we can concretely share our lives, take decisions together, and even work together to reach the goals that we need today.
Para nós conseguirmos os nossos objetivos que nós precisamos hoje.
Poi la seconda parola è solidarietà orizzontale.
Then the second word is horizontal solidarity. This is an expression of a young person who participated in the first phase of the Genfest in Fortaleza. This is what he said. We were not the ones going there to teach, but we were all together, living unity and mutual love. This is what we learned through the very experience that we were living. I returned from this trip convinced that bearing witness together is truly powerful, not to mention the very strong experience we had at the SEO condominium in Fortaleza with various movements. A wonderful experience of fellowship and unity. The third word is believing. We saw and we met people who believed. We met a community that lives in the south of Brazil and is composed of 3 peoples from Brazil, Argentina, and Paraguay. There, we personally saw them too in this commitment to care, to heal people's wounds, even those of the past. This phrase of the gospel was confirmed even more in me. If we have faith the size of a mustard seed, we can even move mountains. Impossible things become possible, but not so much for us, but for others and for humanity that surrounds us.
Poi l'incontro che abbiamo fatto della Fazenda della Speranza.
Then there was the meeting we had at the Fazenda de Esperanza with the Uniredes platform that groups together about 80 social organizations from the whole of Latin America. What was very clear, and we saw it firsthand, was this dimension of the gospel that focuses on social transformation. The gospel is not just a spiritual message, but a social revolution. It's a very true expression of care, because we meet Jesus forsaken, de los más desfavorecidos, as they say in Latin America, meaning in the least, in the poorest in society. Among other things, this is an experience, as you've highlighted, that we're living together, not only us, not only organizations born within the movement, but also organizations that have been inspired by the charism. In Latin America, this is fundamental. We cannot build unity bypassing social commitment. Unity, building unity, passes through social commitment. I believe that this is the message that we've brought from Brazil. Namely, it's a confirmation that unity and Jesus forsaken are two faces of the same coin, which is the gospel. The Gen proclaimed this in the Genfest too, when they spoke very clearly about Jesus forsaken. Then we had the gift of visiting Mariamplis Gineta, a little town in continuous transformation, very suitable for formation. While it's projecting itself outwards with a very concrete commitment for the people in the area, it's very integrated in the area, it opens its doors to everyone. It was a wonderful experience. Care, horizontal solidarity, believing. With these three words, Margaret, who's here in the hall with us, told us about her trip to Brazil. I want to thank her personally because I feel that these words also sum up my experience at Genfest 2024. A clear message that shows the way to live our charism, remembering also, as Jesus emphasized, that unity passes through social commitment. During their long journey, Margaret and Jesus made several stops in the Focolare communities in Brazil.
Yes, I could say that we can start with Seu. Margaret and Jesus stopped in the city of Fortaleza, where they experienced at first hand the life of the 23 communities that collaborate for the protection and advancement of human dignity. Now let's go to see this reality together.
On 112 hectares of land, 23 organizations, Catholic communities and institutes live an experience of communion between charisms. For over 24 years, this experience, located in Fortaleza, is called Condomínio Espiritual Uirapuru, or SEO, an acronym meaning sky or heaven in Portuguese.
Seu has this characteristic, the bringing together of different charisms that complement each other and at the same time give their common witness, each according to their own charism. They're not mixed up, but complement each other at the same time.
When we were offered this property as a donation, we immediately felt inspired to achieve Chiara's dream, which in 1998 she promised to the Holy Father, Pope St. John Paul II.
We know that the Church desires, and you too desire, that there should be full communion between the movements, their unity, and this has already begun. But we want to assure you that since unity is our specific charism, we will strive with all our strength to contribute to achieving it completely.
It's common among us to make this comment. Wow, what I have is enhanced by what you have, and vice versa.
Living these experiences in communion also helps each of us, not only to make our own charism and identity shine with light if we compare it with the others, but the other also becomes the encouragement, because we are then called to live the whole gospel, not just one word. And so each of these realities, these charisms, act as a little sentinel to the other.
It's like the beauty of the garden of the church. The garden of the church has this characteristic. There are roses of different colors, with different scents, but all planted in the same garden. They're all nourished with the life of Christ and are giving fragrance to the world, attracting the people of our time so that they can experience the person of Jesus Christ. And it is this experience of communion that we live here, charisms that are together, not to copy or compete with each other, but to complement each other in view of mission.
And maybe the world just needs so many answers. And the Holy Spirit knows this, so He puts one inside each of us, so that together we can give an answer to all the most important questions that resonate in the human heart.
Our brothers and sisters from the other charisms who came to take part felt the impact of a living church that is really happening.
Some of the representatives of the association that you have just seen are here with us in the hall. Daniela Martucci, president of the community New Horizons, founded by Chiara Amirante. And Nelson Giovanelli, who was recently elected president of SEO. Nelson is also the founder of the Fazenda de Esperanza. We heard about the story of Nelson in the June link-up, which you can find on our YouTube link-up channel. And it was in Fazenda Esperanza where I experienced the phase 1 of Genfest. It is a therapeutic recovery and social reintegration community for young people. I spent time in the Women's Center with girls and mothers with their children. It was a very strong experience that we shared together and which taught me how forgiveness is fundamental to be able to start again, to love oneself and others.
And now we'll carry on with the next stage in the journey. It's the point where the borders of Brazil, Argentina and Paraguay converge. Margaret and Jesus were welcomed by 420 people from the 3 countries. It's one of the most wonderful places in the world, but it's also victim of divisive politics. Visiting these places, Margaret said, "From this border, a hope begins for all the Focolare communities in the world and belong. We ask those who live this reality directly to tell us more."
Hello. We knew that Margaret was in Brazil, so we decided to invite her to visit the Iguazu Falls, a wonder of the world. We also invited her to get to know the experience. The unique experience until then, where 3 countries of different cultures and languages come together to share life. This experience began in 2016 with the temporary focolares, which are continuing. When we visit the communities, we also have word of life meetings and individual conversations. These are moments to strengthen unity with both Paraguayan and Argentinian communities, as well as with the Brazilians.
A very important fact that you realize in this region is that the trinational, or what is known as the triple frontier, is seen as a region of drug trafficking, arms trafficking, and many, many problems. In these 98 ethnic groups, for example, those who live in Foz de Iguaçu and the surrounding area. However, in the community where we meet, which is very large, we don't see these problems. There's something much greater that unites us, which is precisely this living together in community, as we try to do. We don't see these difficulties. Quite the opposite. We work so that this situation can change, and it certainly will. The challenges that we have in our frontier zone are great. For example, interreligious dialogue and working together with the indigenous communities is an enormous challenge, and we're sure that we must continue to bear witness personally to this fraternity between us and to continue to extend it also in our villages and in our communities. It was a wonderful experience, and now I think that we're moving forward, because unity is built moment by moment, but always embracing the pain of distance, the pain of difference, the pain of discrimination, the pain of this whole reality, because borders are human.
So, the time has come to talk about all of this year's Genfest. But first of all, let's remember those of the past. For example, there's someone in the hall who's been to the first ever Genfest. Oh, there's so many hands up. Oh, there's Iri there. Iri there. You were one of the first, the very first young people of the movement. So would you like to tell us something?
Yeah, I still feel a great emotion thinking about it. It was in 1973 in Lopiano. It's indescribable, the amphitheater at Lopiano. Everybody sitting on the ground with white paper hats because the sun was very strong. And it was the first time that the word Genfest had been used. It didn't exist until then. It was an amazing thing, incredible. It was spectacular, I'd say. So I think for all of us who were there, it was a moment that marked our lives. But Genfest didn't finish there, thank goodness. It began, it was just the first one, and it's developed over time. And let's see how this adventure took place. Can you show us something?
Viviamo ormai per quel mondo nuovo, l'uomo accanto all'uomo li scoprirà.
Siamo pietre della storia e vediamo l'uomo crescere su profonde convinzioni più di semplici emozioni. Siamo giovani umanità, il mondo unito, on the right side to be weak, go on the right side to be all, go on the right side to be weak, nations together. Radio Serva ha sparso la notizia che la pace si può fare.
Giunto spara! Un po' in ritardo, che dici, Joao?
It's a bit late, isn't it?
Giunto spara! Oh, questo... Together to care.
Uniti per prendersi cura.
Ecco, questo è il motto.
That's the motto of Genfest 2024, which brought 4,000 young people from all over the world to Brazil.
Exactly. And the novelty this year was dividing this experience into 3 phases. In the first phase, the young people experienced social activities in various parts of Latin America. Benedetta, you also took part.
Yes, the first phase, I was in Mariapolis Ginetta and in Quilombo do Carmo in contact with children and young people looked after by the Focolare movement through an educational center. So between walls to be painted and kites to fly, the time spent with them was precious. And even more so, the simplicity of life lived together. We who were the volunteers made the children feel important and loved. And I hope to have sparked in them a bit of curiosity about the world around them.
Thank you, Benedetta. Now let's see a video which summarizes phase 1.
We are especially doing actions which are of service. We are all really excited and pleased to get to know new cultures and different realities.
I feel that this is an opportunity to share and discover new worlds, new contexts, new realities.
These days were so interesting because we tried to immerse ourselves in the community here.
Hi everyone, we're here at the Liceo in Fortaleza and phase 1 of Genfest is starting.
To tell you the truth, these days have been extremely satisfying for me.
Even though we didn't speak the same language, it was nice to see how well we communicated, how much love there was.
I believe that Genfest brings this diversity of expertise. It brings out the potential that exists in our countries.
God has allowed us, through His presence, to feel unsettled in order to find a much more solid common ground, with many tools for peace.
Y lleno de herramientas para la paz.
Benedetta, I'm homesick for Brazil. I really want to eat some rice and beans. Ah, the typical Brazilian dish. How many should I prepare? Anybody want one? 1, 2, 3, 10, many.
Joao, don't forget about us. I miss it so much. Not for me, thanks. I've had my fill during the Genfest, that's fine. Marco, where did you eat so much? In phase 1 by any chance? No.
My phase 1 took place in Afago, a center for children and adolescents located in the slums of Pedreira in São Paulo. The experience there was great because young people in this area now have a place to grow, to play, to train and create a future for themselves. I was really impressed by the number of projects and activities carried out in the center. This experience gave me so much hope because it gave me the idea that with commitment, change is possible.
Once phase 1 was over, we met in the big arena in Aparecida for phase 2, and there was phase 2. 2 days together, a celebration with people from all over the world who told their stories, sometimes really difficult ones. But then still in Aparecida, there was phase 3, which took place where each one was able to choose according to his or her professional preferences an area in which to put the ideal of unity that Chiara taught us into practice.
I can already see the eyes lighting up of some of you getting excited, remembering the trip we took in Brazil. The communication group in Brazil is concluding a video summary that you'll soon find on our YouTube channels. For now, thanks to their help, we were able to prepare this next brief clip. Matilda, are you ready?
Juntos para cuidar. Juntos para cuidar.
We are truly a network that stretches across every latitude and is living in 1,000 ways the motto we have chosen for Genfest 2024, Together to Care.
Juntos para cuidar.
I know that I won't be the one who sorts out the world, but I keep asking myself, what can I do?
My name is Christian, and I am from Melbourne, Australia.
The idea was to present on the Genfest stage all the life of the young people of the Focolare movement by sharing experiences of our lives.
I am 23 years old, and I have survived the trauma of the suicide of my youngest brother, Samuel.
I'm from Damascus, Syria. I was 16 years old when the war started. In the morning, each person of my family would say goodbye, knowing that it might be the last time we see each other. And we lived 7 years like that. And then, last year, there was an earthquake. Everything collapsed within us. We experienced darkness and doubt. Where was God? At a certain point, I understood even more strongly that only God does not collapse, and that I could be, together with others, a comfort and an expression of God's love for others who suffer and who are in despair.
I think Jesus is present in our sufferings today, in our modern day crosses. Women who suffer violence, those who suffer any kind of discrimination, the environment, the poor, migrants, countries at war. He is present in the elderly who are alone, or in the teenagers still suffering the consequences of the pandemic. I would like to go round the world and embrace everyone I meet. And by embracing those who are suffering, I want to embrace God. The strongest thing about this whole experience is that there is a diversity of cultures, of countries, of languages, but we are all experiencing the same love, the same spirit of sharing, of helping each other, of being together.
To come to Genfest was a dream that I've had since I was a Gen 4. I am here to meet young people from many different countries of the world.
Each one of us likes to do something different and is good at something. This can contribute to fraternity and building a united world. The various pathways became 8 communities in phase 3 of the Genfest. economy and work, dialogue and interculture, peace and human rights, health, sport and ecology, art and social involvement, education and research, communication and the media, active citizenship and politics.
The proposal for Phase 3 is really to continue afterwards. So the aim of all the programs we are creating today is this, that these young people, when they return to their communities, already have a worldwide network of people who, like them, believe in a united world. So they can join projects that are already underway or create new projects, or be part of organizations that, like them, are working to build peace, to build unity wherever they are active.
I study economics every day at university, but I always see the boring part, the theory. Here I've discovered the beautiful aspect, or rather the aspect where I can say, what can I do? But above all, what can I do for my neighbor?
There are many young people here, but the sharing is not just between young people, but between generations, right? Many people are concerned about what's happening to the environment and the fraternity between everyone.
There's a huge advantage of being here is also being able to connect with so many different people, to be able to connect over a lot of our commonalities, over our dreams for the world as well, and really just to try to think together.
Because afterwards, we must get our hands dirty. We must start processes to bring about transformation. It's not enough to live a beautiful festival. We must leave here convinced of some fundamental ideas for the transformation of society.
Abbiamo questi giorni camminato insieme.
In these days, we have walked together. Genfest does not end. I'm sure that when you arrive back in your cities, you will understand where you would like to get involved according to your interests, your studies, or your professions. In these days, you have had an experience of living
Community in unity.
Unity, in unity. Something that will continue. This will be your training ground in which you will learn and will practice living fraternity.
All the experiences we shared, all the love we received, all the strength communicated during these 3 days of Genfest definitely encourage me and all of us to get involved in projects to live universal fraternity and, above all, to build a united world together because we are together to care.
What we've seen up to now all took place in Brazil, but around the world many young people organized and participated in local Genfests. Let's have a look.
One of the local Genfests took place in Cutro in the south of Italy. There was a big shipwreck there in February 2023 in which 94 migrants died who were trying to cross the Mediterranean Sea. João, you were in Cutro during the Genfest, weren't you?
Yes, while you Italians were in Brazil, I, a Brazilian, was at Genfest here in Italy. I'll tell you my experience. The most beautiful thing for me was when we as young people were in Cutro, during the artistic presentations, listening to the life stories of migrants who'd crossed the Mediterranean to get to Europe with the hope of building their lives. For me, it was a moment of anguish.
È stato un momento di angoscia.
to hear these stories, because I felt as if I was one of them. It helped me to see this situation through different eyes, without the filter that's in the news. And it made me think, how is it still possible in the 21st century that people are treated like this?
We have seen some pictures of this moment. And I see there is Benedetta, who is next to Antonella, and she too was there in Cutro, isn't it?
We have here Antonella Majorana, a young person of the Focolare movement from Calabria, the region where Cutro is located. How did the Focolare community react to this shipwreck in 2023?
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Benedetta. The Cutro shipwreck in 2023 was a moment of deep sorrow that moved the consciences of many people, not only in Calabria. Faced with a tragedy of this magnitude, we say silence was an act of respect for the victims and their families. It was also essential to listen to the stories of the survivors and to understand the human and political context that leads to such tragedies. Finally, people spoke out to denounce injustice, but also to propose ways of solidarity and welcome. We think that a Mediterranean of fraternity is not just a utopia, but a concrete, complex possibility. We young people have a crucial role in this process. We can and must be promoters of actions that put human dignity and global fraternity at the center.
Thank you, Antonella. We'll continue our trip with the other local Genfests.
For each other and for all, we can make a difference if we stand tall. We can build a better world if we work together. So let's start today and make it better.
They say it's a matter of time, 1,000 days and the sun won't shine.
Ahojte, ja som Baška, mám 18 rokov.
Hi, I'm Baska from Slovakia. I'm 18 years old, and I would like to share with you a brief experience I had at the Genfest in Kezorovik, where we young people from Slovakia organized a summer school for Romani children.
A ja som vlastne bola ako animátor, mala som na starosti skupinku detí.
I was there as an animator and was responsible for a group of children. In my group, there was a boy who was constantly disturbing everyone, looking for attention, and with whom it was difficult to work. As a group, we took part in several workshops, but he didn't seem interested in anything until he came to the first aid workshop.
Kedy sme proste pripravili pre tieto deti rôzne aktivity a stanovišťa. A na jednom zo stanovišť bola...
Aika was explaining the CPR procedure to the children, and he watched and listened attentively, even sitting close and trying CPR on the dummy, despite his shyness. When Aika made him try the life jacket on, and Simon helped him to fasten it, he suddenly brightened up.
Pekné bol moment, keď vlastne prišli ostatní animátori a Aika mu napríklad dala vyskúšať si svoju záchranárskú vestu a bolo vidno, ako ten chlapec tak ožil v očiach.
I think he sensed the love and special attention that we were trying to give them all, and perhaps as he tried on the jacket, he realized that his dreams did not have to remain just dreams. It was important for us to understand that we must not forget our dreams, but believe they can be achieved.
Takže to bola moja skúsenosť.
I'm looking forward to an open dialogue with the young people and sharing positive energy with them.
There are so many things to do, so many things to explore, new people, people from other countries, and so many cultures. I think this experience will probably be unforgettable, and I hope that many people, especially young people, can experience it.
And now we go live to the young people of Pakistan who are connected from the Focolare in Karachi. Hello, are you there?
Benvenuti. Ciao. È un'emozione avervi qui.
I'm moved to have you here. But maybe could you introduce?
My name is Chantal.
And I'm Rizwan.
We are from Karachi, Pakistan.
We heard that your local Genfest was surprisingly very well attended. Can you tell us more about it?
Tell us something more about it.
Genfest has been a dream. Early morning, when we arrived on the venue, there was nobody. And we asked Jesus to make this day a strong testimony of unity among us. After this prayer, we went to the registration. Our heart was full of joy with seeing so many young people queuing in front of it. We expected maximum 500 people to come, but people were even more than 800. Even if we exceeded the number and some things were challenging, the unity we had among us with the different parishes from all over Karachi, with different denominations and even different religions, was as Chiara Lubbock's dream of a united world became true. So Chiara was really with us.
We started many months before going to our different parishes to light in the young people in the fire of joy for the Genfest. We felt enjoy in spreading this ideal among us, all young Christians in Karachi and in our province, Sindh. Also, our Archbishop, His Grace Benny Mario Travers, was happy to help us. The program was prepared together at the end 11 different parishes to activate part in it, experience, dance, song, dramas. It was beyond our expectations to our honest when we're surprised by the huge number of participants. One parish priest said, "You don't have to be surprised. People were waiting for this event for so long."
Thank you so much for having shared your beautiful experience with us. It's always amazing to see how Chiara's words and ideal still reach the hearts of so many young people. Thank you again and enjoy the rest of the link-up.
I was impressed by the social bond that was created between us. I come from a simple family, and at this Genfest, I learned to go outside myself. It was the first time I met the Focolare, and I felt at home, even though we were from various churches.
We came from different parts of the country and got to know each other better. We realized how different we are, and this enriched us. We learned a lot from the different speakers on very important topics that transformed my life. We visited orphanages and prisons. When I returned home, I went to put into practice what I have learned.
Before the Genfest, we had a 3-day training course to talk about important things, such as ecology. We had interreligious debates, exchanges with experts and young people, and so much more.
I give thanks to God who's brought together all these young people from the Focolare movement of Central and West Africa right here in Mons. They're already taking care of us through their visit. Taking care also means visiting, coming to greet. It means knowing that other people exist outside our countries, outside our family.
I'm very happy, very delighted to spend this moment of peace, fraternity and love. Here there was joy, there was love. We had a great time, and we've decided to continue to spread unity in diversity and to continue to love without discrimination.
Genfest, we actually enjoyed the Genfest because it was nice. It was an opportunity for different people from different origin, different countries to come together and socialize, to meet ourselves. Despite that most of us left a lot of things, but we came together for a purpose. And thank God that most of us achieved the purpose we came for. And I'm so grateful that Genfest was a success.
I'm Sarah, a Gen from Egypt. We started the Genfest with 60 young people from Egypt, Eritrea, and Sudan. We wanted to experience the united world first among ourselves and then offer it to everyone. On the first day, we talked about borders and how to turn them into a meeting point. Although we did not all speak the same language, this did not stop us from living fraternity among ourselves. On the second day, we talked about talents and how to put them at the service of others. The first 2 days of Genfest were the seed. We worked together with joy and love in the different workshops without forgetting the social activity of reaching out to the most lonely, such as the elderly. An evening of prayer concluded the 2 days, believing that Jesus, present in our midst, would reveal to all the truth in which we believe, the united world.
This Genfest was the first in Egypt, and we're really happy about it. This Genfest is part of the big Genfest spread all over the world. We were able to help people, making them happy, bring them peace and love.
We started preparing for Genfest in Egypt a few months ago. As soon as we got on stage, we forgot all the tiredness and agreed to offer everything we have with joy and love. We were very enthusiastic and wanted to offer a performance that reflected our faith in a united world. The 200 people present lived and experienced this, and this moment was the climax of all the love that had been built between us.
Together to Care, Past, Present and Future. This is the title of the Genfest in the Middle East and North Africa. We're in Ajloun, a city in the north of Jordan, where 100 young people gathered from the 26th to the 31st of August. They were Christians and Muslims coming from 8 countries of this region. The aim of this Genfest is to awaken the leadership of young people to take care of each other and of the environment as a response to local situations and global challenges. It is also an opportunity to witness together that peace is possible, starting precisely with us.
La paix pour moi,
For me, peace has always been an ideal to aspire to. The Genfest theme, Together to Care, deeply resonates with the culture of peace. Caring for others means building relationships based on trust, respect, and love. Therefore, together, by caring for one another, we can build a more harmonious and peaceful world.
Nous pouvons bâtir un monde plus harmonieux et plus pacifique.
One of the decisions I make every day is to live in the present moment, because it is the only thing we possess despite the difficulties we face, the past that tries to draw us back, to make us regret or think about past actions, or the future that awaits us and about which we know nothing. We must remember that the only thing we possess is the moment we have in our hands, and not to compare ourselves with others or other situations, but to try to improve ourselves with the things and the skills we possess.
Despite all the difficulties that exist in these countries, seeing the relationships of love and fraternity between these young people gives us so much confidence that a united world is possible.
Now we return to our countries confident that our voices have become louder and our cry for peace will reach all corners of the earth. Thus we strive for a united world to become a reality.
Margaret has joined us on stage. We've just heard these words. What we've lived in the Genfest all over the world, the same ideal. We also heard at the end these words. After these days, we return to our countries strengthened and confident that our voices have a greater impact, and our cry for peace will reach all corners of the earth. These words are powerful in the face of the situation of conflict and tension that we face today in so many countries. This is why we want to invite everyone to have a moment of silence for peace, for justice and peace, to truly implore this gift.
Okay. Margaret.
We've had wonderful experiences of unity in the Genfest, and today we've seen images and heard powerful testimonies. According to you, can we speak about a united world, or is ours a utopia, which is unreachable and a fantasy, as some people think?
Look, after this moment, I just want to stay in silence and in prayer for all that is happening in this moment in various parts of the world. I, too, like you, in various moments, I also doubt, because the suffering is too strong, the suffering that we are feeling, that we see. But I have come back from the Genfest full of hope, because I said this is the hope that no one can take away from our hearts. No one can steal it from us, because it's that hope that we believe in someone who cannot delude us. And so in this context, in these days, I read something of Chiara, who was speaking to the young people, the Youth for United World, in 1998. And I really thought that Chiara's words are exactly for us today, and they have helped us to believe again, really to believe. And so I would like to share these words with you. And Chiara said, "You strive and work for a united world, a world of peace and fraternity. And what are you doing to reach this goal? You are involved in activities that might appear to be small and, although meaningful, out of proportion with your proposed objective. When you are older, perhaps some of you will be more directly involved in the various organizations aimed at building a united world. I believe that although all that you do will be very helpful, it is not one activity or another that will play a decisive role towards this goal. Instead, the deciding factor is that of offering a soul to the world. And this soul is love. Today, we must be love. That is, we must feel what the other person is feeling, live the other, the others, and aim at achieving unity all over the globe. Therefore, we must build relationships of unity, of solidarity, which are rooted in love. You must live out this love, first of all, among yourselves, so as to reach the point of living it with many, many others wherever you go. When you meet ordinary people, for example, and with those who govern their future, or those in public institutions, and in the smaller or bigger organizations of the world, everywhere. Only then will they fulfill the purpose for which they were established and truly work for a united world. A more peaceful world.
Thank you, Margaret. Thank you for this reflection, taking the commitment to love our brothers and sisters, one day working in these institutions. We will take part in some way in this. So thank you. So tomorrow, we know you've got a very important commitment awaiting you. From tomorrow, you'll be at the Vatican because you're attending the Synod. How are you preparing for this event?
To tell you the truth, I'm preparing also like many of you. It's 3 years already that I'm preparing in this journey. It's not just right now. And many people all over the world, and even those of the movement, we have tried, we have committed ourselves to live always better, always more, the synodal way. This is the main topic of the Synod. So I'm praying for it. I'm counting on all your prayers too. I will bring you all in my heart, and also with the commitment to live these moments as a true commitment for peace. And I hope that this moment of the Synod, where people will be gathered together, bishops, cardinals, lay people from the whole world, representatives of the whole world, and this really being a relief
a bit of like an answer to God for peace in the world. So I'm living it with this soul, and I hope we all live this together.
Grazie Margaret, grazie per queste parole.
Thank you, Margaret.
Bene, siamo arrivati alla fine.
And now we've come to the end of this link up. We'd like to take this opportunity to thank all the local communities in Brazil and the other countries where the local Genfests were held. Thank you for the love and generosity of so many who made it possible for young people to take part.
Vorremmo ricordare che giusto qualche
We'd
mese
like
prima
to
del Genfest,
remind you that a few months before the Genfest, there was a terrible flood that devastated the south of the country. The communities undertook to cope with this emergency, also thanks to the support of a worldwide communion of goods. Now we'd like to invite you to participate in an extraordinary appeal that we're launching for the Middle East. We want to help people who are suffering in these countries because of conflict. For information and donations, please visit the website that you can see on the screen, www.focolare.org, amu-it, afnonlus.org. They're all written on the screen.
Wow. Quante persone ci stanno
Anyway,
in giro per il mondo?
how many people are following this link up throughout the world? People have sent us photos. Maybe there's 8,000 computers or devices. Maybe there's 10 people per device. So, and then there'll be the ones who look at the recordings. They're watching this from Sicily. They've sent these photos, and you can see. From Arco Iris, the little town in Portugal.
Potevate scegliere una foto migliore.
You could have chosen a better picture.
Poi dalla Costa Rica.
From Costa Rica. Greetings from Costa Rica.
Torniamo qua in Italia a Parma.
And here in Italy at Parma.
È la città di Matilde.
It's where Matilde comes from.
Un saluto. Curato in Italia.
From Curato in Italy.
Brasilia. E qua l'urlo in sala si è sentito per il Brasile che è ancora nel nostro cuore.
And you can feel that Brazil is still in our hearts. Mondragone in Italy.
Saccona, Treviso.
In Treviso in Italy.
Spero per la pronuncia.
I hope.
Neuquén, Argentina.
Neuquén in Argentina.
E poi Créteil, Francia.
And then
pronuncia giusta?
Créteil in Francia.
Grazie.
In France, sorry. Thank you for being here with us.
We also know that from Argentina, they're also following us, more than 450 young people from the little town of O'Higgins. So they've gathered there because this weekend they had their annual youth festival. Thank you for having followed us, for having joined us, and we hope that we have helped you to live a little of our Genfest experience. And so we want to remind you that this link up will still can be seen in YouTube, or you can see some highlights of it. The complete version will be translated in other 9 languages besides the 5 that are already available. The channel has been revamped, and we hope that you would like it.
So we come to the end, and we look forward to seeing you at the next link up on Saturday, the 14th of December. So see you soon. Goodbye, everybody.
We can change the world. We can change the world. We can
acreditando num mundo unido.
Continueremo ad offrire la nostra vita per i fratelli.
Seguimos eligiendo el perdón.
Continueremo a dire tu sei importante per me.
Não está sozinho.
Tu es important pour moi.
You are not alone.
No estás solo.
Continueremo ad avere speranza.
Continueremo a credere
che la pace è possibile.